before the
have
weather
a-
comes.
We're gonna fly.
We are live. We're live.
Okay.
One,
John, I think John
blue.
has it.
Yeah,
I got it, yeah. Have to wait 2 minutes.
Okay.
It's okay, I'm not, my screen is blue, but.
Yeah, what's going on there?
Let's see, screen health. Screen is healthy. Oh, there we go.
Look at that nice now.
It's always a
little bit off.
delay, yeah. Sorry, it was a little early. I heard pledge, so I can.
That's okay.
No, we're ready, it's fine.
Good evening. I'd like to welcome you all to this meeting of the Curriculum Subcommittee of the Hamden-Wilbraham Regional School District. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you'd lead us, Nikki.
Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our first order of business is reorganization, so I will open the floor for nominations for chair of the subcommittee.
Do you want me to share? Not really. Rich, do you want to be the chair?
I thought you were doing an amazing job. If you didn't want to do it. Yeah, you're doing an amazing job.
I can't nominate myself, right?
I don't
I
think
nominate
the rules
Lisa.
prohibit-
Nobody else does
Second.
it. She desperately doesn't want to do it. I do it other than. I'm
All
happy
right,
to
then.
do it.
I'll close the floor to nominations and then move to the election. You have one candidate. A yes vote would be for Lisa. Rich Rediker?
I'll vote for Lisa.
Tim?
Yes.
Lisa?
Yes.
Okay. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Meeting is yours.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so we're here to talk about the high school program of studies. And I'll give it away to you.
Great. Well, thank you for having us. Nicole Smith is associate principal in charge of curriculum, and myself as principal. What's in your packet is a PDF of the entire program of studies, which we don't go through. A memo that tells you how we determine what classes to add, what classes to take away, etc. Kind of just describes our process that really starts in September, preparing for the next school year. And then the document that we'll be spending most of our time on is the summary of proposed changes. These are the substantive changes that we're presenting to the committee. The first of which is the modification to the competency determination, which is a result of a policy change at the school committee level. So we had to update that competency part, and the updated competency is highlighted in yellow for you and is aligned with the changes at the school committee policy level. I did leave in, just so you could see it when the yellow ends, these are the specific courses that students have to pass to demonstrate competency, which is different than graduation. It's one of the components of graduation. But they have to pass English 9 and 10, or a comparable class if they're a special education student or in a specialized program. In math, Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, and Science, Biology. That doesn't mean that those are the only math and English classes they take at Manitowoc. Those are just the courses that are consistent with when we would give the MCAS test to determine competency. So all of those courses would align with the state frameworks around determining a student's competency for a diploma. So then we get into the departmental course changes. So in English, they were proposing a true crime literature, which would be a 12th grade elective core English course. So students have to take 4 English courses to graduate. The first 2 are standardized, lit and comp, sophomore English. When you get into junior and senior year, there are genre-based electives that students can take. So this course in 12th grade would replace our current contemporary issues class. And it really came out of student interest. We survey the students once a year to say, what courses would you like to see here that we're not currently offering? We give that feedback back to the departments, and then they kind of look at that and say, oh geez, everybody's talking about true crime. Well, maybe that's a Dateline, 48 hours kind of thing. So this would also, they liked this genre because it's actually going to increase the literature and reading that they do. Contemporary issues is a very oral argument-based course, and this would be more of a literature-based that would have not only nonfiction true crime, but fiction true crime. So they'll get both areas in their literature. So they're very excited about that, and it aligns with their goals to increase reading for students. And we know that, and our high school librarian, Dr. Trevi, has constantly talked about, we got to get kids reading again. So this falls in line with that. The second elective core is on dystopian literature, which doesn't sound, you do,
literature.
all right, there we go, we have a fan. I remember when Maura Hellier, the department chair, brought it up, and I said, I'm sorry, what is dystopian literature? But what they actually did was the kids were talking about it. So they designed a pilot unit in the grade 9 class. And the kids were so excited about that unit that the department said, yes, so this is a course we need to develop. So it's kind of, it will replace sci-fi literature, but it will still have some sci-fi in it. Futuristic worlds, kind of the anti-utopia perspective. And they're really excited about it. Again, it'll be a heavy literature and writing course, and it falls in line with what the students are telling us they want to do and read and learn about. So those are the 2 proposed changes in English around 12th grade. Again, electives, but it counts as one of your 4 English courses.
The idea behind looking at both the dystopian literature course and looking at the true crime, or so the first one, students having a lot of seniors especially that take forensics course in the science department, the flexibility of these 2 departments to have interdisciplinary work.
Yeah.
So being a senior, thinking about going into some element of criminal justice, and I'm able to take criminal justice, I'm able to take forensics, I can take anatomy and physiology and English. Oh look, there's more. So it's great that to see that, as well as it being student feedback driven, like Steve said, because for me, when I present a program of studies, just knowing that it gives it a lot more validity, it makes it feel much stronger when we know that we've taken the time to say to students, hey, we've run these courses for a while, or to say, hey, can we have some feedback about this now? What can we do to spice it up, or what's of interest that we're not providing? So I'd like to echo that, because that absolutely makes the difference.
I think it also inspires our educators, right? If you're teaching the same course over and over for 10 years, it can get to you a little bit. So this kind of reinvigorates that stuff. But I had to look it up to say, would I have read any dystopian literature? And they told me, yes. Did you read Fahrenheit 451? Did you read 1984? Did you read? I'm like, oh, okay, I did like those books when I was in high school. So that's kind of the genre if you're as old as I am.
Captured the ride, remember that.
With okay, yeah, yeah.
Um,
So history?
History in the history department, so there's the first two courses there in the English department. We also have one that's a rebranding or redesign on our traditional sociology course. And in response again to numbers declining in student selection of the course, we selected or asked the students for some feedback there to get to kind of the heart of what they felt would make the course stronger. And so narrowing in on using sports as the lens to examine societies around the world and, still giving students the introduction to the discipline of sociology, looking at basic theories and things like that. But sports being something that crosses all boundaries, being that, internationally, and it's a way to look at societies in a common language through sports. So hopefully we'll see a lot of kids signing up for that. And
Can I just jump in
Sure.
there? So I mean, just think about this last week and the sociology elements there. People are talking about Lindsey Vonn and feeling bad that she got injured, but also there's a group out there like, well, she was injured. Did she take a spot from somebody else who maybe could have done better because they weren't injured? Like all of those sociology elements woven in there, or the Super Bowl, the discussions around the halftime show, and the cultural messages that came out there, the aspects around the commercials, and just how that all sports is that, or athletics is that lens, but it creates a really deep look into American culture and how people think and act and feel around it.
Next on our list from the Fine and Applied Arts Department is a music history in film, which was inspired by the English department's literature and film course. And music history in film allows students to think about soundtracks and how film directors and musicians come together to collaborate and design the right sounds to accompany a film, and how you use music and sound to draw energy from an audience that can't be seen. And so looking at how they can still continue to, again, emphasizing literature, about looking at the historical aspects of the musicians involved, but then learning how to actually create a soundtrack. So students will then be using Soundtrap to design a soundtrack to accompany a film, and that really gets them to tie it all together with a hands-on aspect that the music appreciation course didn't necessarily have. So we go from expanding from just history to an actual design product for students that gets an advanced coursework earning as well. So there's that first. And the last one to talk about is the Principles of Engineering course, and this is happily a second course in a series that we started this year, and that was the Principles of Engineering, is the second course, and the Introduction to Engineering Design we adopted and started as part of the Career Pathways program, folks.
Sure. It's course 2 of 3 that we will be slowly adding, starting last year. This is course 2. Next year you'll see course 3 being added to the program of studies.
And there were a lot of discussions around these courses when we got started with, so it makes me happy to see the continuation of it. But this is really strengthening our commitment to STEM, to students who are looking to, going into engineering and design and those, different career paths. And using computer automated drafting, the CAD programming, this course helps kids. This is from grades 9 to 12, so it allows students to get their hands again in and working on products as early as possible. So this is an expansion on, this is course number 2 of 3, as Steve said, and looking forward to seeing students signing up.
But it's also an advanced
Also
coursework
an
credit
advanced coursework.
from DESE. And so I think in the last 2 years, I think we've added 6 courses that qualify for advanced coursework. So you get rated by DESE for how many kids have taken an advanced coursework. So that's all your College Board AP classes. That's any kids who take a dual enrollment course out of college. And that's specific courses that DESE lists out, like trigonometry is considered an advanced course. Forensics and genetics is an advanced course. Music history is an advanced course. Any project lead the way is an advanced course. So you get rated, or not rated, but reported out on the percentage of students that take these courses. So we're trying to expand that, right? We have a very strong AP program. We have the dual enrollment program. Now we're really focused on the elective based. That might hit some kids who wouldn't typically do the other two things. So those are our courses.
But those are all great ideas. It just came to my mind of some that when I taught a million years ago, the physics teacher, one of those popular things was he took the kids over to Riverside. I don't know how many years ago that was.
Oh, yeah.
60 years ago, and they studied the physics of all those rides, like how fast does that thing have to turn around so the kid, your body doesn't drop when they take the floor away, or how fast the roller coasters have to go. I just remember them coming back and loving that unit. So just throw it out there. I don't know if you guys do.
I convinced my principal when I was teaching 6th grade math to do a field trip to Riverside, and they designed a whole math lesson around the speed of the roller coaster.
Right, same thing.
Same thing, only it was more focused on the math. But yeah, no, that's great. Our physics teacher's last thing was he had us all up there because he had a bed of nails that he laid down on the floor. They put the bed of nails on him. They put a cinder block on top of it, and the kids took turns hitting the cinder block. So I was a little worried about liability insurance, but he explained how the energy and force gets displaced across the bed and doesn't cause any damage to him.
As long as they don't miss the block.
Well, that's right. That's right.
So are you looking for a vote to approve this?
So typically, yes, there's a vote to approve the substantive changes for the 26-27 program of studies, and then you bring that back
So,
to
yes.
the school committee.
So when it's the updates, the curriculum update, we'll do this as an update and then a vote to accept. Because the full committee has to accept the changes.
So can I make a motion that we recommend this to the full?
Is this the curriculum or is this the first part? I just want to say a statement about the first part. In terms of competencies.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's the article I kind of sent you earlier today, John. From yesterday's New York Times. Nicholas Kristof, I follow him in the New York Times. He's a very liberal columnist and does all kinds of great things all over the world. And he's studying education and spent a lot of time studying why 3 red states in the South are actually outperforming the blue states in terms of recovery from COVID and things like that. And the key was they have schools where 80% of the kids are disadvantaged, and the key was not to have separate competencies, not to have separate goals for the disadvantaged kids as opposed to kids who are not disadvantaged. And they brought back up their standards, and they worked really hard to get them to meet the same standards. They're not saying these kids have these standards to graduate, and these kids have these standards to graduate. They say everybody's going to be the same. And that brought them up to increasing all their whole performance of everybody, you know, blowing away some of the quote-unquote, liberal ideas of some of the, northern blue states in terms of education. So that's where we've gotten to the other thing, and there's true special ed kids. These are true special ed kids, because I had kids, quote-unquote, that were special ed because they wanted to get to medical school and they wanted to have more time to take tests. I don't consider those true special ed kids. But I'm talking about, I urge, that our standards, again, we do stay the same for everybody in terms of graduating. We just work hard to bring everybody up and not say, this kid is dubbed disadvantaged, so he has a lower standard than somebody up here. So.
And just make an observation to that. I appreciated that article. Thank you for sharing that with me. As I was listening to you present this, the 2 things that were coming out to me were student voice and raising expectations. Trying to get more kids to take advanced coursework. Last week we talked about going for silver with AP and increasing the number of students who are taking AP, but what's really important is not AP per se, but that all kids are held to high standards, and so you're adding 2 more advanced courses to the catalog with this, so I think that's great. And I think that aligns with what you're saying, you know. Right now, I think it's something like just over 70% of our kids take advanced courses. And we're trying to make sure we can get as close to 100% as possible. Giving more opportunities for kids to do that by expanding the courses that have that high level of expectation, but maybe are more diverse in the content areas they cover is a way of trying to get to that goal. So I think that's great. While I have the floor, if I may, I also think it's great that in the catalog you identified the courses that count for the competency determination, because I think this is somewhat of a complex policy, and I think the little gold seals next to the competency courses will help people follow along with that.
We had talked about that in the process. Usually we put they're stickers when you're working on a computer, but we usually put the stickers of our new courses, kind of like when you go on a car lot, you know, like sale. But we decided to also add them to every course that was a competency, because it is confusing. When Superintendent Provost and I had our meeting with the Pathway Advisory Council, we developed a graphic that shows competency, graduation requirement, pathway. So there's 3 colors in a kid's 4-year career for the pathway student, because they have to satisfy 3 different areas. And it gets confusing. This is similar, so we wanted to denote it.
Yeah. The other thing that, in terms of AP courses, that people probably may not realize, not be publicized enough, is it's worth a lot of money. Because when you go to college, if you take an independent study, you pay for that credit. It's big dollars, even if you don't,
Sure.
the professor doesn't do anything. But I got out in a half a year less because enough AP courses passed in high school. That's the only way to get free credits in college, is to pass AP courses. It's big bucks. Back then, college was like $2,500 a year. Nowadays, it's a gazillion dollars a year. So if kids know those AP courses and getting a 3 or higher gets you, at least it used to be 3 or higher, gets you credit in college. You can get out in 3 years, many kids.
Yes,
I don't know if that's brought up or how many kids even know that.
we
So-
talk about it.
My own daughter.
Yeah.
Is an example.
Yeah.
Through the math department and the work in the AP courses, and she went and got to skip over about 4 different math courses right off the bat. So that possibility of graduating in less than 4 years and doing that is very
It'd be
real.
worth
Very
$100,000. You know, I think so.
Yes.
And my daughter's in her 2nd semester, and she actually texted me when I was in a faculty meeting. I read the text to the faculty because she said, "Oh my God, Dad, every one of my courses this year we're talking about how to do research. I am so bored because I already know how to do this." And that's a testimony, not just to Dr. Treby and Dr. Conkley, but all the teachers at Minnetonka, because they all teach different elements of doing research and performing searches that are meaningful and not just the first thing that pops up in Google.
When my daughter went to George Washington, she thought she was much better prepared than kids that came from elsewhere, and she went here.
Great, great.
That's good.
My hat's off to all the work that's been done. Of course,
Yeah.
probably before your time.
Well, it's before my time, but the legacy lives on. The teachers are working really hard, and so are the kids.
So yes, Tim, I would recommend to, that you made a motion.
Make a motion that we bring a recommendation to the whole school committee to approve this.
Yes,
Second.
there we go. We don't really,
Are we the whole committee, the 3 of us?
we are the whole committee.
That's it.
Yes.
All right,
Thank you very much.
great. And Lisa, I'm happy to come whenever this is on the agenda. I'm not sure if we know that yet.
The next school committee meeting is our budget roundtable. I
So it
mean,
won't be
we
that
could still,
Yeah, but don't you want it to get
When
approved
do you need
sooner
to have
rather
it so
than
you can
later?
print it?
yeah.
Sooner
Well,
is always better.
Sooner is always better, but with the
So we can start the
subcommittee,
budget roundtable by approving the,
Showing
that's
our
fine.
legislative, yeah.
I can definitely
It's a
be there.
Thursday, the 26th, regular time
Not a
in
problem.
the IRC.
We're doing 8th grade orientation.
Oh, you are, that's
No,
right.
the night before, 25th.
All right, so is there a snow date that maybe that's why it's still on there?
It might be for that, but we can do
But you can
both.
do that.
That's
Okay.
pretty easy.
But is that okay, because you would rather have it approved sooner, right? 'Cause
Yeah,
you're
it'd be
looking to
great.
make schedules and
26,
things,
yeah.
right? Okay,
26 is fine.
okay,
Yeah, perfect. We'll be there.
okay.
This, this is the first time I've been through this
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
package. I do have a few questions, I can save them for later. so
Okay.
I can Get home.
Yeah, happy to.
Very impressive portfolio of course offerings.
It is, I think it's pretty diverse.
There's several I'd like to take.
Two questions, very quick questions.
Yeah,
You mentioned custodial parent. If it's joint custody, do any communications go to both?
yeah, joint custody, yeah, absolutely. It's, we usually have to go through a process of, looking at court documents just around the educational piece. We tell them to redact everything else, because we don't wanna,
Yeah.
just because, you could have a situation where one parent's saying, I want communication, and the other parent is saying, that parent can't have anything. And so I have to see the most updated court documents to make sure I'm doing it right.
Okay,
But yes, joint custody, you get everything.
good. I'll talk to you.
Yeah, anytime.
I'll talk to you later.
Give me a call or send me an email, happy to talk,
Yeah.
or on the 26th.
They're just clarifying questions.
Absolutely.
Because I did read the whole thing. so.
Oh, good. I hope you
Very
stayed awake.
No, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, they
The
do a nice
one
job.
thing that concerned me, when I think about music and the cost of instruments, and maybe, I know in math, you know, you gotta have this kind of a calculator, that kind of a calculator. Is there accommodations for
Absolutely.
kids who are, you know, in families that are stressed financially?
Absolutely. We can get a instrument from Jerry's Music. Jerry's Music, I think, is in South Hadley. If our band director says, hey, I got a kid that really wants to play the saxophone, but they can't, yeah, we'll give you one. We'll get it back at the end of the year. But yeah, absolutely, we have that kind of relationship. Or remember one of the organizations that the school committee approves every year is the Music Boosters. They will sometimes step up if Dave goes to them and says, hey, I got a kid, he really wants to try the oboe, and, you know, they can't, you know, Music Boosters will take care of it for them. Or Music Boosters will work directly with Jerry's Music to say, hey, what's this cost for you? And they'll work something out. Calculators, we have plenty. Kid says, I can't afford the TI-84 or whatever the latest one is, just let me know, we'll take care of it.
You can ask if there are accommodations for kids that are tone deaf.
Well,
Like
my
me, but-
experience in Springfield is quite different.
Oh, yeah.
Because the percentage of kids who are
So much higher, yeah.
they also get a ton of money because of that.
Yeah.
So they can
Supplement.
make accommodations like that, and not sufficient. I'm not saying they have everything they need, but we don't have that many. There is no money, the economies of scale, there's no big money coming in here in
No.
special ed, or kids living below poverty, or kids who are not native English speakers, so
Right.
you gotta come up with that in the budget someplace.
We work with the boosters, or we figure out a way. You know, every department has a small budget. If they came to me tomorrow and said, Steve, I gave out all my free calculators, I need 7 more, I would buy 7 more in a heartbeat. You know, I don't have millions of dollars, but I have enough that I can do those things.
If I may, I think it might be appropriate at this point to say, one of the things that Dr. Hale and I have been talking about is ways to remove barriers to kids taking AP classes, you know, and one of the barriers is participation in the test and the cost of the test. So we've been talking about if we can create some kind of pilot program for students who may have the talent, but may not have the means in order to take the test. So that may be something that we're coming to the school committee to talk about at a later time.
Say, and I'll stop here. It bothers me that in a place like Springfield or Holyoke, they have the resources to do that,
Mm-hmm.
that come from the state. We're not robbing Peter to pay Paul. We are, but not to the extent that you have to do it here because of the economies of scale. You don't have that many kids. But to me, the state has the responsibility, whether it's 4 kids or 300 kids. They all ought to receive the same resources that are needed. And that's enough out of me for now.
No, I understand. Thank you for your passion.
I appreciate that.
These,
Thank you.
all of our kids deserve the same opportunities.
Yeah.
Should I move to adjourn so people can get home before it snows?
It's not snow tonight?
Yeah, it was when we walked in, yeah.
So I move to adjourn.
I think,
Second.
nobody told me, and I'll move
You
it.
ready to- There we go, all right.
Don't be
All right,
surprised.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Not thinking of snow.
Great work, thank you.
Of course. Anything that comes to mind, just let me know, pull me aside, whatever you need.
Yeah.